Hey, Brandon here. This is channeled advice on the week ahead, and this is for September 30th through October 6th, Monday through Sunday. I've got channel messages that came through ahead of time from my spirit guides, the angels, and source, and I will also be channeling through and intuiting any additional information that's for your highest good in addition to these as we're rolling through this, as I'm reading these to you. So let's start. So they are giving me a different thing than what came through ahead of time. They're showing me the Titanic, and they're giving me the word float. They're showing an angel on a floaty, those like pool floaties that you lay down on, which is interesting too. He's sipping like a pina colada or drinking something out of like a coconut here, and the angel is not worried. So they're kind of showing like you are worried, or some of you, maybe not all of you, but some of you are worried. Some of you feel like you're sinking or you're not going to be able to stay afloat, but you actually are. You're going to be totally fine, especially if you're taking action in this time period and doing what you need to do and asking questions like, "Hey, what's it going to take to change this?" Or, "Hey, universe, can you please help me get out of this?" Or something like this. Like sometimes people just forget to ask, and that can be part of manifesting is asking for certain things. And some of you can just manifest your way out of all your stuck places, and like you don't even realize that you're just kind of sitting in it, thinking you're in like a metaphorical pile of poo, and you could be asking for something different the whole time or taking action to maneuver your way out of it through following or listening to your intuition or whatever means you have available to you, this whole time. So, can you start asking questions where you feel like you're sinking, where you feel stuck, where you feel like things aren't moving and see what you get or see what the universe says in response? Or can you reach out to help from people if you feel really stuck, but you feel like someone might have an opportunity for you or might be able to help you, or just start getting the ball rolling in your life more so you can get out of certain situations. One of the main messages with this, though, that I'm hearing is the universe will keep you afloat. The universe won't let you sink. Like you're gonna be fine, even if some of you feel like you're losing or sinking is something I'm getting. So they're moving me to number one. The first thing they said ahead of time: sprint towards your targets this week. Mainly, this is an action week, and you're going to be called ahead. That's kind of one of the big messages for this week, honestly, and probably the next couple is like action oriented. Like, can you take action on your targets, on your dreams, on things you'd like to bring in? Can you do things you know you need to do that maybe you've been putting off? Like, it's a really kind of a go period once again. And there will probably be multiple of these, throughout the time I'm facilitating these videos where it's like, hey, time to take action. So, where have you been called to take action where maybe you kind of just haven't been, and can you start to move the needle in those areas? So, what came through ahead of time: is there an action step you can take towards your targets this week? Please just take it. It is go time. It's pedal to the metal week. You're going to get the go ahead from spirit. So, if you've been waiting for that, a lot of you will be getting, if you work with your intuition, if you channel some sort of sign or go ahead, like, hey, start working on this. Or maybe there's a project spirit gave to you but it wasn't time yet and now it is. So, or maybe you felt rattled in your business or unable to take action, but now is the time. So keep that in mind. And sometimes there is like a divine timing for things. Excuse me with the mic here, it seems to be wanting to roll back today. So let me see what else I'd like to say on number one here. There is just this reminder, like, if you've been putting things off, please stop, is what I'm hearing. Like, it's really time to stop messing around with that and go. Now, the caveat might, for most of you, this is going to be like, yes, this is what you need to do. This is what is spot on for you. If you're like sick this week or something, take that as your cue to rest, or that maybe you've been doing too much. If the universe, like, it's actually, I'm hearing that's not really going to force most of you to pause or stop here. But if like one of you gets sick, it's like, okay, then rest. But besides that or around that, like, what do you need to do? So number two here, they showed me a rainbow and it just said more hope birthing. We had a similar message recently, I think, somewhere. However, you are going to be getting signs from spirit that everything's going to be okay. Like we talked about with the Titanic, and feeling like, some of you feeling like you're sinking, but you're not going to sink, or some of you feeling stuck, but spirit's going to get you out of it. Like there are symbols of hope coming as signs for you. So like rainbows, light, whatever represents hope for you, or the thing the universe shows you that everything's going to be okay. Like it could be 444. It's like 444 for some people means angels. So when they see 444, it's like, oh, things are going to be okay. The angels are on it. I was worried about this thing. I saw 444. I'm like, I don't need to worry. We're good. So things like that, So you're going to be getting signs from spirit that everything's going to be okay, like symbols of hope. Things are going to turn out okay for you. Just keep going, to your best, and keep going. Hope is on the way. So it's also like a real hope. So if like you haven't had money, but then you get a job that pays more, like that can be hope, and it's like, here's this stepping stone to the light, to a lighter experience, to a brighter experience, potentially at least. So there are a lot of things that you've been holding out hope for maybe that are going to come into something I'm hearing, or they're just going to give you hope for the future or let you know like things are going to be okay or better than okay. And I'd say probably manifest things being better than okay rather than just okay, because I mean, okay is it's better than not doing okay, right? It's something. However, like, wouldn't you rather ask for more than just like being okay? So that's another thing I'll recommend if you're someone who's working on manifesting or things like that, or working on your world. So number 3 here, they showed me a popsicle. So, can you make your life delicious? This comes through as a reminder sometimes, but I think people oftentimes need to hear it more than once, and sometimes there are new people showing up for this, so bear with me here, and maybe there'll be some new angle or something new that comes through for you if you've heard this from them before. But here's what they said: we remind you of this often. This is a great week to double check. Is your life a life you'd like to live? If not, how can you start making the changes that will get you there? Life is not meant to be lived by a set of rules someone else hands you. Craft the life you'd like to live regardless of the rules others set for themselves, especially religious rules is something they wanted to highlight. So, what's the life you'd actually like to live that's going to bring you joy and lightness and freedom and expansion and fun and an experience you'd like to have? And can you start taking action towards that? Again, it's an action week. It's a time where you're being called forward, or will be sometime soon. You don't have to force that to happen today. If today's a rest day for you or a day off for you and it's just not the day for it, that's okay. But take it for this time period. Like, where are you called forward? And I think sometimes we forget that. We forget that life can be, not all of us, of course, but some people forget life can be great. Some people forget like they can take action towards a better experience. And whether it takes no time at all or it takes time to get there, it's probably worth it by the time they get there. So it's worth having a life experience you'd like to have. And that's an example for other people so they can gravitate towards it and have it too. One example I'll give you is ease and the concept, the energy, having ease in your world. There are so many people out there who I see it on social media all the time. Like, if you scrolling through threads is like a thing that I stop myself doing all the time, because it's interesting though, because it shows you where a lot of people are at. There are so many people who think life has to be difficult, life has to be a struggle, nothing's easy, and all those are limiting beliefs, all those are limiting points of view, all those are things that keep people in the struggle and the difficulty and the hardship that they don't need to be in, because they can craft a life, they can ask for it, they can shift themselves, shift their point of view, shift their beliefs, shift how they approach things so that they do have ease. So maybe there is ease in every area of their life, or their life is more easeful, regardless of what's going on even. So can you manifest ease and have more ease in your world instead of living like everyone else, trying to fit in, to be like everyone else, trying to struggle to show everyone else that you're normal, trying to, what's the best way to say this here? To make people not feel bad, And because if you live in ease and your life has ease and you have that in your energies and it's actually there, all of a sudden people are looking at you like, wait, that's possible? Like, wait, I can have that too. And whether they choose to go there or not, that's on them. Okay. You don't have to like save them or change them. But it just has that knock on effect where people are like, wait, I can be rich too. Wait, I can have ease. Wait, I can be in joy. I'm allowed to do that. Like, you'd be surprised how many people think they need permission to do anything, even when they're adults, on some level, just because of their training or whatever. And it's not everybody, of course, but can you make your life delicious? Okay. Number 5, they showed me. Well, I want to see if there's anything they want to say around that out here. Um, so, what are the energies you'd like to have in your life? What would you like your life to be like? Can you start taking action to bring those things in? Number 5, they gave me the word miracle. Actually, this is number 4. So, miracle and birth of miracles. Can you invite miracles and receive them? So, it's time to invite miracles and look for miracles. It's time to invite the change you've been seeking and actually take action towards it. Miracles are coming in for those who will ask for them and those who will take action. So, a lot of encouragement to take action, this week here, because there's a story that they're kind of reminding me of. I do think it's possible to manifest and we don't have to do anything and it shows up. I also think if we're intuitively guided or are compelled to take action when we're manifesting things or we're given that message, we should really heed that and give the universe all the possibility it can to bring in the manifestation. Not where we're forcing it, not where we're going a direction that we are really mentally attached to and think we have to go to manifest things, but the ways we're divinely or intuitively guided or that energetically feel congruent or just like what we're manifesting potentially. I'm kind of screwing up how I should be saying this. So let me see what they'd like me to rein it back to here. Okay, so we're going to simplify it. So follow your intuition to take action when you take action, of course, and to be a part of the universe bringing it to you. Okay, sometimes that does become a part of it, at least now with where we are on Earth, and maybe we will get to a place consciousness wise or energetics wise or vibrationally where we have to do less and less and less to bring things in with ease, and we just ask and they show up because that happens too, you know. Um, but this week, what the message is are you asking for miracles and what you'd like to have? And are you taking action so that the universe can bring those miracles and what you'd like to have as well? Are you meeting the universe? I don't like to say halfway because I don't want to create it literally having to be halfway, but halfway metaphorically or halfway ish, or at least meeting the universe somewhere on what you'd like to have as you're guided. So miracles can happen. There's a lot of miraculous energy available to this crowd if you'll ask for it and take action. That's the message, okay? Number 5 here, or well, let me see where they go next here. Yeah. So, can you dig into your beliefs that keep you from being successful? What are the beliefs that keep you from having what you'd like to have? Can you start shifting them this week? So, one of the things they're saying is exactly what they'd like to talk about here is this idea of in like the business, you know, or self-help community that's more on the maybe mainstream level, they'll talk about mindsets a lot. And there's something to it, you know, because some of the examples I've seen recently that are really sticking out to me and kind of popping in are someone who sees someone who's rich and successful and they look at their life story and their stuff and instead of going, oh, what will it take for me to have that too, or what's possible for me in regards to wealth, what can I actually do, what do I need to change to get there, like it's possible for me. Like there's a big difference between that and like, oh well, if someone goes they'll never have, if someone thinks they don't will never have it, excuse me. So can you start flipping, what's the best thing to be said here, where's your mindset at with some of the stuff when it comes to whether it's things you'd like to have in your life, or it's about success, or it's about some form of abundance, or it's about relationships, or whatever area it's in. Maybe it's even about channeling. Maybe it's about peace. Maybe instead of going, oh, I can't have that, maybe you can instead go, what will it take for me to have that? Like, what needs to change so I can have that? What do I need to do differently so I can have that? What do I need to be that's different than what I've been before? Excuse me, so I can have that. And that's going to give you a better chance because at least you'll give yourself the opportunity to take a step towards it or to invite something in instead of negating the possibilities for lack of any concept or idea that you can have those things somehow, some way. Because it's possible to create your reality. It's possible to live in a different frequency than other people where different things are possible for you, even than people who are around you or your family or your friends or anything like that. And wouldn't you rather have the best life you possibly can and invite other people to that if they'll choose it, the version of that for themselves, you know, rather than trying to appease other people's beliefs about what they can or can't have or try to live like everyone else. So there are a lot of, yeah, so exactly that. Like, what are your beliefs, if any, that are keeping you from being successful? And what are the beliefs that keep you from having what you'd like to have? If that first question doesn't, you don't feel like it really pertains to you as much. And can you start shifting them this week? And there are many tools to do so, excuse me. Energy healing, channeling is a great way to, and intuition is a great way to check into your beliefs because for me, a story I've told before, and I'll tell it again here, is I remember one time I was digging into money things, and for me, channeling's a really big help with that. So I was like, okay, what are my beliefs about money? And then like the things that I was getting are like, oh, money is difficult. I'm like, ooh, money is hard. Ooh, it's hard to have money. Ooh, you're like, oh, that's not what I wanted to be there. That's not. But as you see the truth of that and you get the clarity on it, then you can take the steps, do what needs to be done to shift that, and then you're going to have greater ease with money and more money come in because you won't be living in money's hard. You'll be like, oh, money's easy and fun. And it's possible to have tons of money with joy, ease, lightness, and fun, and a lot of space for me and to live my best life. And then, like, if you have that, you're going to be much more likely, like, you're going to have that come in, instead of the money is hard and money's difficult, because that's going to just bring in really difficult and hard experiences with money. Like, you'll just be working really hard for not a lot of money. You'll be having difficulty working when it comes to anything that has to do with money. Like, it'll just kind of potentially bring those things in. So, how can you shift your beliefs around those things? So that's it for today's video. I hope this helped resonate to whatever's for you guys good. There's one more thing they're showing me. Dragons have been showing up like hotcakes, if that's the right. Dragons have been showing up a lot for these videos recently, so it must be something to do with this crowd here. So there's a lot of there's something about magic and dragons here. So if you feel called to work with dragons as like spirit guides or spirit animals, they are more particular to guide with that word. I totally would. It's a fun energy to work with. It's a great energy to work with. It's of source. It's of the light. It's for the highest good, and it would serve a lot of you well to incorporate that in your practice right now for some reason. So if you're called to work with dragons, 100% would. And I have a lot of great things that have happened in my life where I'd get a message from more of a dragon energy, I guess. What's the best way to say this? Yes, you could say it's like sourced through the guise of a dragon or through the dragons, not to shatter the illusion for you, sorry. um, but if it still shows up that way, cool, have fun working with that dragon energy. And they've really interjected at important times for me and gave me like key messages. And they've given me some of the symbols like for energy healing modalities in the past. And that's probably another story for another time, but I'd really recommend working with them if they show up and not being against it for some reason, okay? But that's it. Anything else before we part ways? Just know, like, you are magical. You have all the magic you need to create the life you'd like to have, even if you're not sure how yet. Get out of the how. I would receive the information you need to do that. I'd look into the resources you need to bring that about, but let the universe answer the how and receive the universe answering the how, whether it's through your intuition or your channel guidance or just through what manifests for you. So it's kind of about getting out of your own way this week and doing what needs to be done and doing what you're called to do. And it's about receiving and being the magic you are as well. So do I need to talk about that anymore before we close this out here? So let's talk about how you can work with your magic really quickly here. Like, manifesting is one way. Things to do with like energy healing, things to do with like shifting things energetically or on a consciousness level or beyond, things that kind of go beyond the norm as it's presented to us in life, like inviting in miracles, working with the angels, working with source, channeling, intuition, all that could be said to be part of your magic and you being magical here. So what are your superpowers with that, and how can you use that and not forget it in your daily life as you're creating everything and making your choices? So they want to close it out. I hope that made sense. I hope that got the message across to you in a way that's actionable for you. I'm wishing you well, and I will see you on another video, okay?